Ooh. Welcome back to the Spiritual Ascension Center, where we are wild and free. Huh? Wild and free. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab a few more trees that I cut down earlier. Right back. Make sure y'all come in and hit that like button. Like, share, and subscribe. All my wild women of wisdom. Okay, we're not just wild. We are wild with wisdom. Okay. Still finishing up wall number 1. It's going up. Trying to figure out how tall I want it. ambidextrous. Two hands. Don't know what I did with my knife. My scissors. Handy dandy scissors. Whoopsie. Alright, it's trying to rain now. Let me fix my tarp back.
Um, actually, the men in my family taught me, well, make your own way. For those of you who think that a woman can only have a man in the sense of a husband, some of us actually do have brothers, uncles, fathers, cousins that actually love us and take care of us, show us things. Just because I ended up with a man like the men in my family doesn't mean they taught me anything. Just means that I choose well, or I'm chosen well. Sir, you don't think my people was on the phone with me when all that happened? It ain't my brother's business what I do. Understand? They taught me well, and they taught me how to stick up for myself. Okay? Thank you, John Joe. Mookie, I don't even like your name. Mookie. Well, how are you showing me love? What is love to you? What my brother's supposed to stick in my back pocket everywhere I go? Huh? And come fight every battle that I have? Huh? Yeah, I'm in the woods. I'm in the wilderness. And it's raining. It's not my fault that you don't have a purpose, Mookie. I'm sorry. No, Pew is not trying to help anyone but himself. No, you and everyone that follows him is slow and on the slow bus. That's why he can't even pronounce half of the words that I speak on my channel. And now you can go away and go finish following Mr. Beluga Head. Okay? This ain't... My page is not for belugas or none of his followers. Okay? You came across my path for judgment. That's why you came across my page, to get your bloodline judged, Mr. Mookie. Yeah, you better get out of here before an angel of justice and judgment be sitting on your bedside tonight with a sword. This ain't that. Think it's a joke if you want to. My name hold weight. Names hold weight. Out of here. You mad because your man don't spend money on you? You mad because your man don't spend money on you? You mad? You mad? You mad? You all over here, but you mad. Miss Sister Love 74, you must be mad. Huh? Because you can't do nothing without your husband on your back. Huh? I know you dry as the desert, and you need the water of living life. It's what you need. It's what you looking for. You looking for life. And what do Shaya mean? Life. Huh? I know what you dry as a desert serpent. Huh? Dry as a serpent. You worried about somebody else's money. I'm in Egypt, darling. Egypt. Yeah, I cut the little trees down. So we have a wall. I might just leave it that short. It's really no point in me having to stand up. Long as I can cover my head. Hey, where's Waldo? Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? I know you looking for me, but I am nowhere near you. I am the cataclysm of the end of the world. Okay? You can look for me all you want, and when you find me, make sure you're ready for the judgment that comes behind my presence. Okay? Y'all worried about Ye. Why y'all worried about this man? He has a page. Okay? He has a page. Are you upset? Watch the throne. That's all you can do is watch the throne. Of course some shit gonna go down when it's $1 billion on the elevator. Of course sometimes shit go down when it's $1 billion on the elevator. Goddamn, goddamn, goddamn. No, it ain't for money. This kingdom business. And now you all will not witness the kingdom. You won't witness the kingdom. You won't witness the kingdom. I'm not even gonna say your name. You won't witness the kingdom. Ain't none of y'all here to genuinely help nobody. Well, most of y'all, I'm gonna say 90% of y'all ain't trying to help anyone. Miss Lady Womans, how you doing, sister? We are making, this is a great falling away. This is the great falling away. The sisters who are true, the brothers who are true are the only ones that will remain. You can believe it or not. But when the flood came, the flood came. Get on the ark and close the door. Get on the ark and close the door. All right, it stopped raining for a little bit, so I'm gonna grab another pole, stick, whatever. Good knees, good knees. Huh? Good knees, good back, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. How low can you go? Can you go down low? All the way to the floor? Can you bring it to the top? Like it never ever stopped? Can you bring it to the top? One hop. Right foot now. Left foot now, y'all. Cha-cha real smooth with it. Cha-cha again. Cha-cha again. I am the dancer of doom. Hmm. We under the canopy. White boy, how you doing? No, white boy, no. No, that's not what we're doing. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? Keep it clean in here, okay? Only the clean versions. I'm good. Awesome. Yay say I shouldn't be talking to any men folks. Hmm. How y'all sisters feel about a man that wants you not to talk to your brothers, but they can talk to any women they want to? Hmm. It's like telling me I can't talk to the men in my family. Ooh. Miss or Mick Peel. The existential crisis umbrellas face when they wonder if they're protecting you or being oh, so we're getting into that scapegoat. Hmm. So back to the scapegoat. How do you know? How do they know? Or maybe you know and they don't know. Some people know that they're supposed to protect a certain people or person, and others don't. They'll take that. When you tell people stuff like that, they'll be like, you're crazy, I don't know what you're talking about, but I can literally show you yourself in history. I can show you who you are, but it's up to you to own it. So who are you? Why are the female, or if there are any female angels, why are they not talked about? Umbrellas don't fear the rain. They fear the moment you turn them inside out. Stare at their mangled frame and whisper, you've done your duty. That's when they release. They were never shielding you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 2 bars, darling. Very interesting. Indeed, very interesting. So, that's like saying, my shield of faith is not my shield of faith. So it's all in the eye of the one who believes or who knows. The things that I know, I do not believe. I know. Bye-bye. Yes. Everybody calls me weird. Yes, I am. Very weird. Strange even. Stranger things even. So, without further ado, the mission must continue. We are not allowing anyone to stop us from what we're here to do. Yeah, people want us to be the same, Marvin. Everybody is a robot. Everybody's a clone. Everybody's doing the same thing, hustle and bustle of the day. Everybody's mean and evil, selfish, all the 7 deadly sins. Everybody wants to own somebody. Nobody wants to dwell with the other person. It's all about ownership and rulership, which is in itself slavery. Let's not make ourselves slaves in any sense of the word. 3030 in here. 312. Big Shot Sound. 36 Mafia. Gangity gang gang gang. Feels good out today, even though it's raining. Let's do some reading since it's raining. Coat back on. Yeshua calls himself a clone, actually. Nature boy, my darlings. Welcome back, my darlings. My lovely sisters and brothers. It's the reason I keep looking at the LV, Louis Vuitton, VL, Vicky Lou. So you got Vice Lord, and then you have Love. LV. Big Five, exactly. Big hearts, guys. It's all about love. This is where my people of the Bible get things misconstrued. It's always been about love. Always has been, always will be. So when you try to constrict love, love is free. Freely given, freely accepted. When you try to bind love, you started a war in heaven. Because heaven is love. So anytime you go against love, the person you claim to love, you're definitely going against the truth. You're going against life, the light. Love will always win. It is the law. The first and the last. Because if you love someone, you're not going to hurt them. If you love someone, you help them genuinely out of your heart. You from Gary, Indiana Jones, baby. That's where my baby at right now. No, she's not a mod anymore. We don't do the fake stuff over here, okay? My sisters are my sisters wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. Now, Nap, I was thinking about Indianapolis. When I stopped in Indianapolis a few years back, there was this cold in Indiana it was a different type of cold that I felt. And it actually was the place where this sister that I was dealing with in the Hebrew community is where she stayed at, her and her family. And I think her dad, both her mom and dad worked for the government. So when I come into contact with people like this, I'm checking everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at everything and everybody. Because what we do, we following the money, okay? Because we know that the love of money is the root to all evil. Gangity gang gang. You live in Albany. Okay, okay. G.I. Now I'm thinking about G.I. Joe. G.I. Jane. Hello, Dragos. All right, I only wrote down a little bit more of the inky thing, but the way spirit leads me, whatever I read, that's what's supposed to be read. Bonjour, darling. Bonjour. Think that's my one of my other past life homes. Trey 5, darling, what are you talking about? The Bronx of Gary. Yeah, it's something about New York, Indiana, Illinois is what I keep hearing. Michigan, all those states right up in that little dip where Lake Michigan is at. Yes, I lived in Danville, Illinois. I lived in Danville, Illinois. Trey 5, Yeshua in the chat. They all watching over me. All my brothers watch over me, even when they don't want to. You say Big Five was talking down on me on Mr. Beluga page? Big Five, what say ye? Don't tell Lucy to shut up. Nah, tell the truth. I want to know. Were you? Were you talking bad? Yeah, Lake Michigan also has there is a Bermuda Triangle over Michigan or whatever they call it, but it's, yeah, one of those. Yeah, okay. It ain't about the wrench, it's the principle. It's not about the wrench, it's the principle. If you don't like somebody, why sit up under them? Why watch them? If you feel like I'm this and I'm that, or I'm not this or I'm not that, don't watch me. Lil 5 now on the fin. We slapping fives. What? Because don't play. You know I'm going to find out one way or another. Point blank, period. I'm going to find out. Look. Remember all the energy that you put out in the ethers. Okay? Remember the energy that you put out when you get that back times infinity. That's for everybody. Just remember that. What goes around comes around. 3.14 Pisces gang. Okay? Circles. The circle of life. The circle of justice and judgment. Let's read. I hate when I get in here. I get stuck. Alright, alright. Oh. Sugar snap peas. What you doing up there? Trying not to clothesline myself walking around here. Let me get some light. Well, I could see. You say I lived around Stony Island. I was just staying with my cousin around 95th and Stony. I was actually studying Stony Island in the sense of I'm still looking for the location of where Satan is. Miss Huss, is that your name? I don't want to say your name wrong. How you doing? How you doing? All right, so we left off on the flood with Inky, okay? Inky and the flood. So we're going to start off 34, something about the great whore. The whore of Babylon. Is it the whore or the whoremonger? You can't have one without the other. So there is a whore and there is a horror. So, in this myth, mankind has multiplied and they create so much noise that Enlil is unable to sleep. He decides to wipe out humanity by sending a plague. The text introduces Atrahasis, who prays to his god Enki for help. Enki instructs him to tell his fellow men to stop praying and sending offerings to all of the gods and to instead concentrate their offerings on the god responsible for the plague, Namtar. Atrahasis executes Enki's instructions and Namtar, pleased and embarrassed by the gift, alleviates the plague. Humans multiply and once again Enlil is unable to sleep due to the noise. And the noise campaign comes along. So I always think about Illinois when I hear the word noise, even though they say that the S is silent, but Illinois or Hellinois is what I be hearing. Okay, so it's raining. It's off and on. So I started getting drenched, I'll hop in the hammock. So, humans multiply, and once again, he is unable to sleep due to the noise. He decides this time to wipe out humanity with a famine and orders Adad, the weather god, to withhold his rain. Once more, Atrahasis prays to Enki, who instructs him to tell his fellow men to stop praying and sending offerings to all the gods and concentrate on the offerings of Adad. Adad is embarrassed by the gift and discreetly allows enough rain for humanity to survive. The composition at this point is fragmentary and entire passages are missing. Enlil resumes the drought but appoints Anu and Adad as guards of the heavens, Enki as guard of the regions under the earth, and himself as guard of the earth. His plan is foiled in an incident which involves fish being freed on the starving humanity. Enlil then confronts Enki. He decrees that humanity will be wiped out by a flood and has him swear an oath against his will to ensure his operation, cooperation. Enki finds a way to bypass this oath and sends a dream to Atrahasis. When Atrahasis seeks clarification about the dream, Enki speaks indirectly to him through a reed wall and instructs him to build a boat and destroy his house. He warns him that the flood will come on the seventh day. Atrahasis speaks with his elders and explains his departure by telling them that since Enki had a falling out with Enlil, he, as Enki's servant, must leave Enlil's earth. The people help him build his boat and load it with animals. Before the departure, he holds a banquet, but he cannot take part in it himself, as he is feeling sick with the knowledge of the impending destruction. On the seventh day, the flood comes and wipes out humanity, with the exception of Atrahasis and his family on the boat. Enki and Belet Ili grieve for their creation, and gods begin to suffer from hunger since they no longer receive food offerings. They said Chicago was Jerusalem. Hey, it just gets better every day. What I learned was that the river that runs through Chicago, um, the Cal-Sag River, was likened to the Jordan. And where I come from, where my people stay at now in Calumet Park, the fire hydrants are yellow, and my granddaughter pointed it out to me that they say EJ, and EJ standing for East Jordan. This is literally on the fire hydrant. And EJ is my late uncle initials. He died when he was 18 from cancer, my Uncle Eric. So it's all making sense. But no, I wasn't born during that time. But the 312, again, the inverse of California's Los Angeles 213. I don't know why I always get that mixed up with Alabama, but the Bama, again, is a high place, just like California is, which is our locations for altars and sacrifices. The groves, Bohemian Grove. There's a Chicago Bohemian Grove. But yeah, also, if you've watched The Omen, the headquarters for the Vatican or whatever was in Chicago. The newest pope is from Dalton, where my grandmother, my father's mother, stayed at. Dalton, Illinois. Pope Leo. You need spotlight. Turn on the lights in here, baby. It's too dark, I want y'all to see this. Turn on the lights in here, baby. Want you to see all of the lights. Yeah. Chi-Town, where it all went down, was the download that I was getting when I was in Atlanta. Something about gang since potty train and things of that nature. Okay, whole lot of gang shit is what I heard. Where do the gangs originate? Thank you. Someone else said something about my jacket. It actually has love for humanity on the tag, so it's a win-win. It's a win-win. Nice and warm. I wanted to go to the old spot we were at last winter, or the right before we moved to the spot that Ye's in. My aunt had bought me a coat. It was like $200, and I left it, so I wanted to go back and see if it was still over there in the little tote that we left. But yeah, I like my long coats like the Matrix, like Trinity, you know. I've been wearing coats like that since I was a kid. You know, my mama bought me them long. I don't care about it looking cute. I want to be warm. I'm from Chicago, so when that wind get to hitting, I got me a nice long coat. Got the zipper. I'ma zip it from the bottom up so I can fly. When I run or I walk real fast, my the wind blowing, then my coat is flying in the wind. But yeah, okay, we got some light now. So, all right. So the flood, it lasted for 7 days and 7 nights. The Bible, it tells you 40 days and 40 nights. When the flood ends, Atrahasis makes an offering to the gods. When he discovers that a part of humanity survived, Enlil is furious and confronts Enki again. The section of the text containing Enki's reply is damaged, but Enlil is convinced to let humanity live. In exchange, he has Enki and Belet Ili. You see how this Ili is constantly being something about Ili and noise. The Belet Ili Institute ways of controlling their population. Only a part of the proposals of Enki and Belet Ili is preserved. It concerns the creation of infertile women and the institution of classes of priestesses that do not bear children. Now, I just want you to think about women that you know that were not able to bear children, but they probably would have made great mothers. I know a few. The Iridu Genesis. Now, your Bible wouldn't tell you things like that as far as priestesses are concerned, because they're telling you that every woman needs to bear children or she's cursed. The way that the world has been set up against the woman, you should be lucky that a lot of these women that are barren are barren. Because a lot of those women be the ones that'll take you out about their children. Now, the Eridu Genesis. This fragmentary myth, you said Enki is Anunnaki, of course, Anu, right. Anu. My mom and my aunt, both their middle names is Ann. My daughter's name is Ann East, or Anna is. Anna is what? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? I'm gonna go find that picture of my son and Michael Jackson, and I'm gonna post it, and I'm gonna let y'all be the judge. Huh? It's some bloodline stuff going on. Some bloodline stuff going on. So, the Eridu Genesis. Let me try and get it. Okay, so this fragmentary myth in the Sumerian language preserves another account of the Mesopotamian story of the flood. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear it because the rain is loud. It is reconstituted from several related but distinct variants preserved from two fragments, one from Nippur and one from Ur, both dating to the Old Babylonian period, circa 1600 BCE, as well as a bilingual Sumero-Akkadian fragment from the Library of Ashurbanipal, preserving Atrahasis, no, as the oldest fragment preserving Atrahasis. The relation between the two texts is uncertain. Atrahasis. Right. So with the whole Anunnaki enslavement of their creation, to mine gold when we are gold, sounds like our enemy got a hold to our sacred teachings. Do not believe everything that you read or hear. Believe what you know. Believe what you know. Marvin, is that you? Is Tyrone? Or is that your cousin? Family affair here. Under the wood. Who's under the wood? What's under the wood? Interesting and suspicious indeed. So, though much of the text is lost, it is presumed that Enki plays the same role as he does in other accounts dealing with the flood, and ultimately placates in Lil. Placate meaning to make him less angry or hostile, ensuring that mankind or humankind is allowed to survive. Yeah, that's the story. I've been here before. That they enslaved us to dig, I guess, whatever. So, the beginning of the composition seemingly deals with the creation of man, an act for which An, Enlil, Enki, and Ninhursag are credited. Another fragmentary section dealing with the establishment of the first cities, describing Nintu giving Eridu to Enki. His brother wanted mankind all dead, right? Being in the wilderness is not about faking being homeless, okay? All right, where are my hermits at? Where are my outdoors people at? My loners, my wolf totem folks. let us continue. So, another fragmentary section dealing with the establishment of the first cities describes Nintu giving Eridu to Enki. And it's so funny, the way that my grandma would call my Uncle Eric. She would say Eri when she, because they used to call us, when we were outside late, my aunt would stand on the porch, or my grandma, my aunt would do it in the place of grandma if she wasn't there. But she would call my uncle Airy when she was calling him. And it just makes me, every time I see Eridu, I think about Eric. So, a badly preserved portion of the text deals with the scene where the flood hero, here named Zusudra, receives Enki's warning about the flood through a wall. Through a wall. Through a wall. The Epic of Gilgamesh. Tablet 9 of the standard edition of the Akkadian Epic of Gilgamesh tells the story of the flood, in which Ea or Ea plays the same role as in Atrahasis. The flood story in the Epic of Gilgamesh is believed to be based on the one in Atrahasis. Gilgamesh meets the flood survivor, here named this is what I was talking about the nap. Utnapishtim. Utnapishtim. During his quest for immortality. Utnapishtim tells him how he and his wife survived the flood and were made immortal by the gods as a result. The reason why the gods sent the flood is not given. They swore an oath to make sure the task would be accomplished. Ea or Ea, who did not wish to see mankind destroyed, found a way around his oath and warned Utnapishtim. He sent a dream, and then, speaking his words through a reed wall. Reeds, walls. A wall of reeds, the reed or Red Sea. Nature speaks. The land speaks. The water speaks. The air speaks. You think the only people who are people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon? Or whether we are white or colored skin? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? So, he sent the dream, and then, speaking his words through a reed wall, he instructed him to demolish his house again and build a boat. When Utnapishtim asked him what to tell the elders and the people of his city of Shurapak, Ea instructed him to tell them that since he had fallen out with Enlil, he could not remain on the earth and that he was going to live in Ea's underground ocean. With the help of his people, Utnapishtim built a massive boat that he filled with his kin, possessions, and animals. The flood came and wiped out humanity. It lasted for 6 days. When the flood stopped, Utnapishtim sent 3 birds to see if the waters had decreased enough for him to land. This episode has been compared to a similar one in the account of the flood related in the book of Genesis. After the last bird failed to come back to the boat, Utnapishtim prepared an offering for the gods on the top of the mountain. When Enlil realized that humans still lived, he was furious and demanded to know the reason for their survival. Ninurta answered that Ea was the only one capable of this feat. Ea told Enlil that his decision to wipe out humanity was a disproportionate punishment and proposed other ways to control the size of its population. Enlil, convinced to let humanity live, granted Utnapishtim and his wife immortality. The Babylonica. Ea was assimilated with Kronos in the writings of the Hellenistic Babylonian writer Berosus. Berosus transmitted a variant of the Mesopotamian story of the flood in his Babylonica, a work meant to present the history of the Babylonians to the Greeks. His original work is lost, but it is known from quotes of Alexander Polyhistor and Abydos, themselves quoted by Eusebius. There, Kronos warns Xisuthros, the Hellenized form of the Sumerian Xisudra, about the incoming flood, appearing to him in a dream in the version quoted by Polyhistor. He instructs him to build a boat, stuff it with provisions and animals, and take his family and kin with him. He tells him the exact month in which the flood will come, and also instructs him to bury all writings in Sippar, two details which are not present in the older cuneiform sources. I am from the tribe of Judah and Levi, kings and priests, queens and priestesses, seers and whatnot. Okay, that's pretty much where I left off. I was on Inanna and Inky, so we will finish when I get there. Let's see what else I had. And again, this is about, we're still on the topic of Azazel, the scapegoat. Guess what? Why you want to be a bug? Such a bug. Okay, so yeah. It's like 15 people in here. What you talking about? Ye's my biggest hater, y'all. He love me, but he hate me. This is about a love story, darlings. This is about the never ending love story of the cosmos. If you do not already know, Ye has not yet fully awakened to his self. 2040 11144. I read from the encyclopedias. I made a video. I just made a video. You're so cute. Leave me alone. You don't know what you want me to do. He just want me to sit up under him, y'all, like a little baby. You want to give me some milk, daddy. You want to give me some milk. Such a big baby. Just talk to you. Just be cutting up. Now see, make sure you love your wives and your husbands correctly so you can never be apart. No reason to be apart from your loved one, your twin. Huh? I am Sister Love, guys. It is dark now. So we finished with Inky. We will finish the remainder of the writings on that later. If you have any books or any literature that you would like for me to read for you aloud, make sure you put it in the comments, or you can email sisterforsisters@gmail.com. Peace.